I'm talking about Leviticus 16. So where the children of Israel and those who observe this end up. So they are all sinners forever. And you know that sinners cannot enter in the heaven of heavens. So you can see that it's dangerous. It's a danger, and you have been deceived. You who have observed the Ten Commandments, because it was already destroyed. It have been destroyed. So let me give you the words because you are waiting. Where is the word which says that it is destroyed? So let's look for the word. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 11 to 13. Isaiah chapter 1, Isaiah chapter 1 verse I'm sorry, verse 11 to 13. Oh, yeah. What we have seen was only Isaiah 2. It's Isaiah chapter 1 verse 11 to 13, which is below. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at it. Okay. It's a little bit slow. The multitude of your sacrifices, what are they to me? Says YAHVAH. I have more than enough of burnt offerings, of rams, and the fat of fattened animals. I have no pleasure in the blood of bulls and lambs and goats. When you come to appear before me, who has asked this of you, this trampling of my courts? Stop bringing meaningless offerings. Your incense is detestable to me. Yeah, he said, yeah, I am fed up. It's not good to me anymore. Yeah. New moons, Sabbaths, and convocations. I cannot bear your worthless assemblies. So here, even your assembly, I hate that. I hate that. I don't need that anymore. Say that YAHVAH. I am fed up. Even the sacrifice, I don't need that anymore. So that means that your religion is destroyed. Yeah, these Ten Commandments and of Moshe, your assembly is already destroyed. The sacrifice is not needed anymore. So you were not washed away from your sin. The Sabbath, the assembly, it's not okay for me anymore. That's what that YAHVAH said. That YAHVAH said, I hate your assembly. It's already full of everything. So what do I need it for? So that is what we can see there. That YAHVAH, it doesn't work for that YAHVAH anymore. So we can see that all Ten Commandments observers are provoking the God of Abraham. They are provokers of that God of Abraham. They provoke the God of Abraham, because once you observe the Ten Commandments, you must perform the sacrifice, because they're combined, united law. So once you observe the Ten Commandments and love Moshe, you were commanded to perform the sacrifice for the atonement of your sin. However, you cannot be washed away from your sin anymore. Why? Because once you are performing the sacrifice that YAHVAH said, I hate this now. And if you do not do it, if you do not perform it, you cannot be washed away from your sin. You are caught in two ways. You observe this, you must perform this sacrifice. But if you do it, that YAHVAH said, this is not good for me anymore. If you do not do it, you are not washed away from your sins. So what are you gonna do? It's so problematic. Yeah, it's so problematic. So with what we are all saying, yeah, if you're gonna perform the sacrifice that YAHVAH has already said, no, it's not okay for me anymore. If you're not gonna do it, so you are not washed away from your sins. So you become a forever sinner. And if you do not perform this, whoever that YAHVAH said, if you perform this, I hate this and I don't like this, you were a lawbreaker. Because once you observe the Ten Commandments, you must perform the sacrifice, because it's a covenant in one book, and you cannot add, you cannot subtract. So if you do not perform it, if you do not perform this, you are guilty before that YAHVAH. You see, it doesn't work. So let's continue the word. We're gonna see the next word according to the book. Which one? In Psalm. No, let's start from Jeremiah 6:20. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 20. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 20. What do I care about incense from Sheba, or sweet calamus from a distant land? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable. Your sacrifices do not please me. Yeah, it's not okay for me anymore. It's not sweet for me. So if you keep doing this sacrifice, however, that is the foundation. Again, if the foundation is destroyed, the Ten Commandment is destroyed. That's why I told you that it is being destroyed, and it's that YAHVAH, the God of Abraham himself, who have destroyed it. He has destroyed it. But your God, who is fake, yeah, he's fake, he's swindling. He said that it's not destroyed. That's why he's a devil. That's why they are devils. It's the devil who said that it's not destroyed, but the God of Abraham said he himself has destroyed it. And the one who has destroyed it said, I hate you if you perform that. Isn't that destroyed? Isn't that destroying? He said that it is destroyed, and once he destroyed it, you cannot perform it anymore. So that means that once he destroyed the sacrifice, then if you observe this, you were fighting against that YAHVAH. If you don't do it, if you were breaking the law, you see, that is dangerous, and you have been deceived, because it's not okay to observe this. It doesn't work anymore to observe this. Okay, let's see another word, the next word. We're gonna read the book of Isaiah 66 verse 3. Isaiah 66 verse 3. So let's see that Isaiah 66 verse 3. Yeah, this is really dangerous what is written here. It's so hard. The word is so harsh here. Isaiah 66 verse 3. But whoever sacrifices a bull is like one who kills a person. And whoever offers a lamb... Okay, let me repeat it again. But whoever sacrifices a bull is like one who kills a person. So that is the sacrifice. So that is a bull to be sacrificed. So you were like killing someone. And whoever offers a lamb is like one who breaks a dog's neck. So if you were killing a bull, like in Leviticus chapter 16, so you were like breaking dog's neck. Whoever makes a grain offering is like one who presents pig's blood. And whoever burns a memorial incense is like one who worships an idol. Oh my God. That is dangerous. That is so bad. Whoever burns memorial incense is like one who worships an idol. That means that all the sacrifice doesn't work anymore. Because God calls you like murdering someone, or breaks a dog's neck, or presents pig's blood. And you know that during 10 Commandments, pigs is forbidden. So in that case, observing the 10 Commandments doesn't work anymore, because that YAHVAH has destroyed the sacrifice, and he has forbidden people to bring sacrifice. However, that is the atonement for sin, and you have been stopped for that. And once that YAHVAH stops you with that, however, once you observe the 10 Commandments, you must perform this sacrifice. If you don't perform the sacrifice, you fight against that YAHVAH, because you break the law. That means that you must perform the sacrifice. Once you observe the 10 Commandments, you must perform the sacrifice. But once you perform the sacrifice, it's the sacrifice which is the atonement for sin. This sacrifice is made to wash your sins away. Once you observe the 10 Commandments, you must perform this, because they are all combined. However, it's the sacrifice that YAHVAH has forbidden you to do. to perform. So if you observe the Ten Commandments but you do not perform the sacrifice, you are a lawbreaker. However, if you are going to perform the sacrifice, that YAHVAH has said that it doesn't work for me. And if you don't work, if you don't perform the sacrifice, you break the law. So it's dangerous for those who observe the Ten Commandments. That is what happens, because if you perform the sacrifice, you fight against that YAHVAH. If you are gonna do it, you are breaking the law. So you can see. So what are these humans do? What are these religious leaders do? They are witches. They are wizards. What makes them witches or wizards? So what did the religious leaders did once they have seen this? This is what they do. Yes, they have removed the sacrifice and they substituted with Jesus. And they were like, okay, observe the Ten Commandments, but it has been substituted with Jesus and Jesus. However, it has been said, do not add, do not subtract. But this religious leader has cursed you. All of them has poisoned you. It's been 2,000 years that they have sent you to hell. But what pushes them to do that? However, there was a word which says, do not add, do not subtract. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 2. Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 32. Which says, do not add the words. Do not subtract. But keep the command of your God, YAHVAH. But they didn't care about their words, so that they can observe the Ten Commandments, so that they can collect money. I don't say that giving money to God is bad. If that is good, if that is right, yeah, how can you love God if you don't show with that? But this tithe is deceit. It's a deceit. This is something forbidden, but you have been deceived. It is something which is used to make you break the law. It is forbidden. But for me, I say here that once it is breaking the law, you go to hell. There is no long talk. But if you want to be saved, get away from that Ten Commandments system and follow Eliah. But once the religious leader saw that the sacrifice cannot be done anymore, and it's so dangerous to enter into that, so they took Jesus and Jesus and they put it in these Ten Commandments. That is so bad. However, it is said, a covenant, when it is made firm, you cannot add, you cannot subtract from it. Okay, let's read it. And in the Ten Commandments and the law of Moshe, it is already said, you cannot subtract, you cannot add it. And in the words of YAHOSHUAH, through the disciples, it is said, when the covenant is made firm. Yeah, the Ten Commandments is made firm because the blood of bull has been poured out. So you cannot add, you cannot subtract. You cannot add human's blood or someone else's blood or whatever gods may they come from. That's why your Jesus and Jesus is a devil who curse and poison human. Look, who dares to say that it's not a breaking of law? Who dares to say that he didn't break the law? Because the Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 2 and chapter 12 verse 32 say that you cannot add anything to this book, because this book there was a blood of bull which has been put out, and you cannot add, you cannot subtract. And in the New Testament, in the words of YAHOSHUAH, the Apostle Paul said, a covenant, when it is been made firm, you cannot add, you cannot subtract. Galatians chapter 3 verse 15. So how can you add the fake son of God into the Ten Commandments? Yeah, he was a fake. He is a fake. It's a stupidity for you to accept that, to be deceived. Why don't you be mindful? Yeah, everybody got brain, but you accept to be deceived by them. Galatians chapter 3 verse 15. Okay, let's read it from on the screen. Brothers and sisters, let me take an example from everyday life. Just as no one can set aside or add to a human covenant that has been duly established, so it is in this case. So even if you go to the town hall, to the public office, government office, You cannot add or subtract covenant, because if you do that, you were a stealer and betrayer. So how can you touch the commands of God? And it is only made for the children of Israel, and you other nations is touching this. It's dangerous what you did. You are touching what is not made for you. But that is the foolishness that you did, which is not made for you. However, this covenant, which is made for the children of Israel, was there was a blood of bull which was poured out according to Exodus. Yeah, so the blood of bull was already poured out. So add how can you add into that comment? Okay, Exodus chapter 24, verse 4, verse 6 to 8. Yeah, Moses took half of the blood and put it in the bowl, and the other half he splashed against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it to the people. They responded, "We will do everything YAHVAH has said. We will obey." Moses then took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, "This is the blood of the covenant that YAHVAH has made with you in the accordance with all of these words." Yeah, so that is the word. So the blood of bull has been poured out, and even it was poured out on the book, and same also for the people. So how can you touch this book which the blood of bull has been poured out, and you just removed Leviticus 16? You just removed the bull and sheep in the Leviticus 16, and you changed it with your Jesus and Jesus. That is the proof that Jesus and Jesus is a God who deceived you. He's a fake God. He's from the devils and Satan. He made you sin.